see it, I'll never feel a thing. No chill, I never breathe. Tell me I'm depleted and
I have been recognized in public exactly 3 times. Twice from TikTok and once from this show. And the problem with that is the way the person came up to me to say they recognized me from this show was after like our youth series. Like we did a couple like one guy who does like this program that's after school where they make movies. Mm-hmm. One guy who's like, you know, he's in Prague making movies now, but he was last year he was 18. And she comes up to me and she's like, "How do you know so many talented 18-year-olds?" And you don't hear the phrase, "How do you know so many talented 18-year-olds?" and not think you're about to get Chris Hansen.
Yeah, dude, rumor vibes.
Yeah, like this face could very easily be on America's Most Wanted. I'm the generic white man who could be arrested. So that was not a good. I nearly dropped the scotch and soda in my hand. I swear to God, it just like you ever see the scene in The Usual Suspects where where like Mark Ruffalo drops the coffee cup and it goes. I thought the SWAT teams were gonna rush it, and I was like, I only interview them.
So you're interviewing talented 18-year-olds? This sounds like a casting couch scenario. You're making it worse.
Well, white moms, to get the job, you're going to have to prove you want it.
Everybody look right at it.
Well, today, guys, we're interviewing the White Moms. They're a Denver rap group we are really excited to talk about. We got Bruce, we got Cisco, we got Mersh. They are a weird little band, and we're going to talk about their new album, The White Moms, Men Working. So, let's get into it, shall we, boys?
Shan't we?
Shan't we?
Shan't we?
Very good.
I'm so afraid of these.
So why don't we start? How did you guys come together? How do you guys say we should be a rap group? Usually that's something that, you know, you're in high school and that's worked out because you're not allowed to dream in high school. So how did you guys come together and say we should be a band and we should make rap music?
College.
Yeah, we just met, started making music kind of on the side almost. Like
we started writing music I would freestyle while he played ukulele in the hallways like almost immediately after we met each other in college. So
and where was this?
This is Colorado College down in the Springs.
Nice. Okay, so you guys are from the Springs and you guys make your own kind of unique rap group. So the music scene in Colorado Springs is a lot different from the music scene in Denver.
Certainly.
I wouldn't say we really actively participated in the Springs other than, you know, like playing frat parties and
on the campus and stuff. The actual White Moms, the 3 of us collaborating consistently, wasn't founded until all 3 of us had graduated.
Yeah, I think we'd all been like making music together separately, kind of in like this, you know, loose conglomerate. And then we, you know, when we all got together in town, we were making music for, I think, one of my projects actually. And then, you know, we came to like the conclusion that we were the White Moms.
Well, we were just doing things like for you, doing things y'all, doing things me, and then we were like, well, what's the name when the 3 of us are doing things together? Thought about it one day and realized that despite our Neapolitan complexion, we all actually have Caucasian mothers.
Yeah. You don't get somebody this light-skinned without a white mom. The math doesn't work on that. So.
Oh, I agree. The math doesn't work. I'm well experienced in that.
If you can believe this, my father is also Caucasian.
I wouldn't believe that at all.
Wait, really? You never told me.
No. Wait, what's your story, dude?
Yeah, we just laughed at that, basically. You know?
Yeah.
Like, you just get to the point where that's a fucking bomb. Like, that's awesome. So
it's just really funny because it's just so obvious and stupid. But yeah. But that kind of makes sense. It's a great joke.
Yeah.
But where does that leave the vibe?
Space for humor.
We definitely leaned more into the joke of it early on. Like the first project we did had all the track names were just white mom names. You know, kind of ran with that like visual aesthetic for a little while.
So do you feel a spiritual connection to groups like Young Gravy, who are like, they're very into MILFs? Are you guys very into moms?
He and I were in the room with the same MILF. I'd leave with her, period. He can come at me on the internet.
You think you can out-MILF Young Gravy?
Oh, yeah, dude, because realistically, MILFs are about connection. They're not about status. It's not about what you know, it's about what you bring to the table conversationally, not monetarily. Mr. Gravy.
You're saying that your MILF game is stronger than Young Gravy.
But significantly. There's so many MILFs he's out here pursuing the famous MILF. I'm like, I want the shopping at the damn, the Sally Beauty Supply MILF. That's what I want.
The single.
Yeah, God, I want the Safeway
MILF.
MILF.
The single MILF.
The Safeway MILF.
Yeah,
That's
Safeway
your
MILF.
market,
I want a
really.
democratized MILF.
What's wrong? I love shit like Young Gravy and Riff Raff, stuff that's just like way too out there as far as being able to take seriously.
I'm a Lil Dicky fan.
These guys, we all like
because he's
Lil Dicky.
like a good rapper on top of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He's actually doing
Yeah.
like good technical.
like he's
wordplay
actually
stuff.
working. Like Young Gravy actually is, get this, a walking joke. So
Yeah, but Baby No Money's got some bars.
Baby No Money's kind of hot, but
Yeah.
like he's also
No.
still a joke.
He will admit that he doesn't know how to sing.
Yeah.
We do know how to sing.
And that's exactly the right. Like you guys can bring some of the talent to this. But I want to talk about your new album, which is called Men Working. It's the White Moms 3 Men Working, and we'll get into a little bit of that as we go on. But where do you guys see yourselves now in? So how many years in?
6-ish.
Yeah, I think 6 as
Yeah,
the
I'd
White
say like
Moms.
after you guys graduated was right when we started
Yeah, so
to
like
be able to
6
work
years.
together really
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah.
So that's pretty prolific. So when you guys consider your new album, where do you guys see the White Moms as a group?
I mean, I think we're definitely growing a lot creatively, and just leaning more into like, sort of producing songs in a less formulaic way, and trying to break some of those like 4-bar loop style conventions and opening ourselves up to more of that, and while still maintaining like an element of that roots vinyl sample based kind of work. So as long as we feel like amused and entertained by it, I feel like that's sort of the direction we like to go in.
And I love some of your lyrics, like so if she f***s me vanilla, then I'm gonna dip.
Uh-huh.
So you really guys got still the humor
Nice,
kind of
dude. Thank
dip
you.
in. Vibes come from? Where do your new influences as you grow? Because I see the humor still, and but you guys are not. 6 years ago, rap kind of took a whole 180 since then.
Well, I think we've always kind of liked being, like, challenging ourselves lyrically, trying to be technical but also being silly. And definitely with the last album, it gets kind of competitive when we're songwriting. So I think, we have a lot of different influences, but when we get together and write, it's kind of, trying to out-rap each other a little bit, trying to be a little more clever, or trying to hit the pocket of a beat,
Yeah.
So it's self-motivated usually, but we also, Baby No Money, Young Gravy, like we like goofing off
Yeah.
a lot too. So
we all listen to like radically different things, and so like whenever we get in the room together, it's like that information kind of, you just sort of carry it with you when you get into a songwriting mode. So like, if I'm like, I listen to like podcasts and jazz all day, and then every once in a while I'll throw on some Young Dolph, you know what I mean? And so like that's the information that I'm coming into like whatever writing session with, and so like somehow it'll inform the decisions that are being made along the way, and that kind of gives us like a broader scope, so the songs end up being like collages.
I have noticed that like there's no like real personality that comes through that it's dominant. You guys all kind of have like different flavors of the Neapolitan ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you guys kind of like find agreements to the music, and how do you really come together and say, well, this is how the sound's going to turn out at the end?
That sort of comes from this thing Bruce and I have cultivated over the years that sort of comes from my more boom bappy influenced area and Bruce's more trap influenced area.
yeah, because when we're producing beats and writing songs, it's definitely like Cisco was saying, it's like a collage where, and especially more with the last album, we can like set an intention or like set like a mood or a theme, but ultimately it's just kind of like an echo chamber.
I really love a collaborative effort, and that's really kind of why I was excited to interview you guys, because you're not afraid to be strange. Like when I first saw the music video, and I was really lucky because me and Jordan are friends, and he produced your music video. And when I was watching, I was like, this is just weird. And I was like, wow, this is the kind of weird where they're like, this isn't intentional. This is just like all these personalities coming together. It's like an estuary. And that's what I really like about like collaboration. So where do you guys kind of like give yourselves permission to not be afraid? How do you guys do that?
I think it comes from the fact that we really trust each other, like when I kind of came into this whole music thing, I've been like a performer kind of my whole life, and when I first was trying to like find a way to produce music, I haven't got like real instrumental talent in any direction, you know? And so it really came down to like my relationship with these guys to be able to get the ideas out and to trust them with like, you know, sometimes the songs get super deep and super vulnerable, especially on like my personal work. And so having that like established, you know, relationship where it's like you can lob up an idea to these dudes and know that it'll find its way to like a broader and better completion than you could have done on your own is like really so then that gives you freedom to do anything, because it's like I don't really care what anybody else would really think about the work, you know, as long as I know that I've got, you know, Mersh and Bruce with me, then we've got the whole thing.
I couldn't agree more. There'll be like a track that we all like have gotten to a point where we're like workshopping verses and shit, and I'll be like, guys, I don't feel this yet. I don't know if I love this yet. But if the two of them do, then it's like, all right, like I guess it's worth something. Just keep working at it.
Pictured your visage, you came to me in a dream. My neck really naked, I'm chasing after VVs. My mind really vacant, nobody name on the lease. My childhood memories made of tumbler and weed. My body a city product, put me out of streams. The water was dirty, I trickled it down the street. And I'm off the roof, the gutter full of them leaves. Surprised I'm not breaded the way I'm butter on beats. Loud in my leather, I don't allow it to speak. My dignity webbing the way I'm up in the crease. I'm numb to the feeling of anything, my money by any means. We fucking without a wig and I know that I'm Mr. Clean with a silky on. Don't know what the fuck the pills we on or which we bought or which we on. Man, I popped the quarter bus, like which was us. I ain't high, but I wish I was.
So boys, I have something special for you guys. You know what it is?
I don't know, Terry. What is it?
It's game time.
It's game time.
Yes.
10:37 and it's game time.
We got someone special, the person who produced your music video, and one of my besties, Jordan Spalding.
What?
Hey, gentlemen, how's it going?
What's good, Jordan?
Oh,
Oh my god.
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
And not because he's just very easily mistaken for Andre 3000, especially when he grows this out. He very purposely has to keep the whole beard unless he wants to be mistaken as a part of Outkast.
It's an identity. The beard.
Oh, and that's why
Good.
I have to be
Appreciate
really
it.
careful when I'm out, because everyone assumes that I am. Who's the other guy in Outkast?
Big Boy.
Big Boy.
Ed
You
Sheeran?
do
Yeah. Oh.
resemble.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
Dang.
that is.
I want to hear the Ed Sheeran Andre 3000's collab album.
You got it right here, baby.
They call it
That's
UK
great.
Aliens or
That's
something.
no, that's. I was thinking Ed 3000.
Ed
but that's good
3000.
too.
Ed 3000 is definitely where like history, you know, like we have a bad like historical collapse, and
Yeah.
all they recover is one picture of Ed Sheeran and Andre 3000 at like the Grammys from 2015 together, and they search really hard for the whole discography.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's-
there's a whole museum based on it.
Yeah. No, it's just like shredded pieces of paper, and they're like reassembling it, like fossil fragments. And
Yeah.
they put it together, and they just like it's like a mix, like a mesh between the two, and they're like describing this like
It's like-
great celebrity.
A mashup between the shape of you and what's that? I like the way you move.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like the shape of you.
Uh,
That's mostly the way you move, because Outkast is better than Ed Sheeran.
Originally, when I heard the White Moms were coming on my show, I was thinking, oh, we definitely need to ask them about the movie Straight Outta Compton. That was just the funniest thing I could do. But then I realized you guys probably haven't seen it because you're white moms.
seen it, yeah.
But what does a cool white mom show their kid to get them into music? School of Rock.
Yes.
So today, we're gonna do some trivia on the movie School of Rock. Are you ready?
Certainly.
Game time.
Born ready.
Certainly.
do I get to answer the questions as well?
Well, that's the thing, Jordan. Because every white mom has a social security net, you will be the white mom's net. In case they need an answer, you will be the person to answer that question.
It sounds like they know more about this movie than I do. So
I'm gonna
yeah,
use
we'll
a
see. I
literal
don't
phone
know.
a friend. I'm gonna actually
Yeah,
call you.
yeah, good.
Okay, so
Rotary
boys,
phone.
Speed dial.
Just in case.
Ready, we're ready.
Let's do it.
so during the course of the movie, Jack Black switches his hair from left to right depending on what?
What, dude? What?
Is it
Yo.
Oh wait, there's a multiple choice. That makes it easier.
Is it
Okay.
A, if he's being a good teacher or a bad teacher? B, is it between his teaching job or between his rock persona? Is it C, if Sarah Silverman is in the room or his friend is in the room?
Yeah.
Just real quick, I'm just gonna call Jordan and see if he knows anything from a film theory perspective.
Oh yeah, give me a call. Yeah. I think it makes sense from a filmmaking perspective that it would be. I mean, like as you were saying, that it's like his two personalities of like the rocking out type and then like the serious like school type.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Jordan. We're gonna go with two personalities. Was that C?
That was in fact B, but you'd be
That's
correct.
so long ago.
You'd be correct.
I said
You
B.
nailed it.
I said B. I leaned up and said it was B.
Yeah, you knew it.
Yeah. So Cisco,
I didn't trust
Mersh,
him.
Bruce, I'm glad you answered that one correctly because now I have to let you know a little secret. If you don't get 2 out of 3 of these questions right, we're gonna bring in a group known as the Black Dads, and they're
We have been beefing with them for years. They show
My,
up at all our shows. They often play right after us.
My actual black father and my sister have formed a counter group called the Black Dads, and it's pretty great. They make fun of me on the phone and in a group chat.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. That exists. That's a thing.
Oh,
that
Brock.
whenever the 3 of us are in a room together, my dad and sister pretend they're in an imaginary band.
well, I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna bring them in, and they're gonna have a rap battle against you guys. And if they win,
shit.
your street cred destroyed.
Jerry
It's over.
Springer, you about to bring his family in?
So that means you have to get the questions right.
Okay.
So let's get on to
Do
the
they
second
do they
one.
just play your music backwards or like read your lyrics in reverse? And then
Basically, they just say the opposite of
They
everything I
pick
say.
Oh, yeah,
antonyms
yeah.
for a lot of. It's the same lyrical structure, just a lot of antonyms.
Yeah, they're like firmly associated. I feel everything. Super chill. I breathe a lot.
So originally in the script, Dewey runs over the teacher. And that's how he gets the job as the substitute teacher. But they changed it to something else. The original teacher for the class, what happens to her so that she can no longer teach the class? Is it A, she gets a romantic job in Paris teaching deaf children? Is it B, she gets murdered by the Scranton Scrambler? Is it C, Jack Black runs her over with a skidoo? Or is it D, she falls in love with the guitarist that replaces Dewey in the original band that Dewey then has to fight in the Battle of the Bands?
Doesn't she like break a leg?
I think Paris. That makes the most sense. The teacher that Mr. Schneebly is supposed to take over for that Jack Black that impersonates.
Yeah.
The 5th.
You're absolutely correct, Bruce. She actually just breaks her leg in the shower. I was trying to
Fucking none of them.
wow, tough questions.
That's
I don't
tough
remember this movie at all. Apparently,
I went SAT and picked the best answer based on the information I had.
I didn't even know she had legs in the movie.
Well, we never see them, so it's up for debate.
she wasn't in the metaverse in the movie.
Yeah.
She floats around like love interest in Wally, actually.
Yeah. Hunter, I have to say D was the most like interesting, like complex plot device that like totally doesn't fit the structure of that movie to be like the most advanced part of that film of like a otherwise like simple, straightforward story. But I love it.
It would have been more fun because then we could have seen the teacher as like when she's like in rock out mode with the love interest.
Yeah.
And then the kids are like, you betrayed us to go be with this loser.
With Spider.
Yeah, with Spider.
Is that- I think
That's
his
what
name?
his
Yeah.
name
Oh my
is.
God.
Spider.
He's got like the leather sleeves.
Oh.
Shirt that's just sleeves.
You know what that's?
Hell, man.
You know what that says to me, Bruce? That someone is unemployable.
They got just sleeves.
You know what the phrase
The
"no
vest is
shirt,
okay.
no shoes, no service"?
It means nothing to him.
What do you mean? Have you heard just sleeves you're hired? That idiom?
I think
Quote, no vacancy.
Cover your arms.
modest is hottest. Cover your arms. Originally, School of Rock was not the title of the movie. What happened to the title of the movie? A, like in the movie Facebook, they had some kind of person come up to them and they're like, you should drop the. School of Rock, it's smoother. Is it B, Jack Black hit Richard Linklater with his car and he could no longer pronounce
Over
the
and
word
over
the?
the car.
Is it C?
Vehicular manslaughter.
Is it C? Spider looked at Richard Linklater and he said, "You should remove the." it's cleaner. Let me go hit on that principal. Or is it D, Richard Linklater slipped in the shower and broke his leg?
They had it as the School of Rock, I think, at first.
Yes, and you're correct.
They just dropped the.
They dropped the. And they kept it in the title of the end credits
Yeah.
because they were just lazy and they were like, the movies were getting released in the week.
Wow.
Well, we had the opposite problem too.
Yeah,
We
adding the
It's
the
a
to
good
our names
point.
was
We
like
were-
a
we were-
month-long discussion.
Yeah, we
Wow.
were white moms.
Yeah.
What was the turning point for that? What decided it?
a
Just
fight
some-
with a band in Arkansas, right?
No, Indiana.
Indiana.
Shout out
What?
White
Hold on,
Moms.
tell me. Are they a group called White Moms?
Yeah, Clay was in charge of the actual altercating.
Yeah, well, so effectively, another group of people of varying, ethnic backgrounds all came together, and they also realized that everybody had a white mom, and they played music as well, and they put their music on Spotify, just like we like to do. But then they didn't for a little while, and then we released our
5 years.
yeah, we released White Moms 2 on Spotify, and we realized, we're doing some cursory searching and
SEO stuff.
yeah, basically just trying to figure out, if the name's like taken, and sure enough, it pulls them up. So we're like, all right, cool, we're gonna add a the, and we did. We added the, and then all of a sudden in the Instagram DMs, here's this band from Indiana, and they're here to come call me a racist. I'm like, y'all don't want to do that, Not only did I go to liberal arts school, but
Yeah, they
I spend a lot of time thinking about race theory and identity because, I'm a black person who gets sunburnt. So, like, you can't say anything to me I haven't said to myself, And also, you can't gatekeep, like, where music and white mommery merge, but just by virtue of being black. Like that doesn't work. So we go back and forth, and then eventually I think we actually had the argument about whether we were going to add the to our name before this fight. But we had a weird like interstate beef between the White Moms and White Moms. And honestly, I hope White Moms can bury the hatchet. I'd love to collaborate.
And I'm going to ask you, who do you think would win in a fight?
Me.
Just you.
It's like 5 African American, like full-grown human beings against us 3.
I just don't see how race matters here because rip, kick them in the knee. You just put your dukes up, fake them out, and then you hyperextend their knees. Nobody can fight with a bad knee.
It's 5 on 1. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, that's 10 knees. That's
yeah.
not too many.
Just-
Yeah, right? I'm going to take all their shoes. Don't fight me. Let's make music together.
This is so funny. The same thing happened with my video production company, which was Red Raptor Video for a long time. There's a group that had like a bunch of funny YouTube sketches that called themselves Red Raptor Video, and they hadn't posted for like 10 years. But then I was like posting some stuff on social media, and they like sent me like an unofficial cease and desist. And I looked at their content. It was just like handy cam, like no lights, running around their house, like playing around. I'm like, you guys haven't posted in years. And so I just ignored them.
Yeah.
And they went away.
That's
and it's
generally
too
what you
bad.
do.
But yeah.
Let's talk about the music industry in Denver. So, what is your guys' thoughts on where music is going to go? You're the strangest thing I've ever seen in the whole music scene here.
Sick. Nice.
we're sort of trying to define what Denver hip hop is, because no shade on other rappers that are based out of Denver and have been doing it for a while, but like no one anywhere has an association like, oh yeah, that's like Denver style. We kind of know what Chicago style is. We definitely know what like West Coast and East Coast style are, and what's Denver style. So we're sort of trying to establish something. We're collaborating with people that are in our vein. We're growing the community through putting on that music with shows and collaborations and marketing and podcasts and stuff. And
We're
we want to make what Denver hip hop is.
trying to take the question away from being, like, what is Denver hip hop to? Well, we've heard the work of XYZ artists, and that gives us a canon to go from. How do you fit in the Denver hip hop conversation? If we were talking to like a rapper 20 years from now, right? Like we want to be, kind of in a way, if we can entrench ourselves here and create a space for, a new type of creativity within the genre. We want to be the dudes who like bust that open for people. That it keeps us local and it keeps us sane. And there's a void in the city for that, like something where you can't say it sounds like somewhere else. Like I love a lot of people, but a lot of people bring like a different regional sound to a Denver studio. And we're trying to create a sound that is like by, of, and for You know what I mean? And that isn't the goddamn Flowbots. Like we're not a reusable shopping bag. And I hate that whole, like, Denver is a city of skiers and craft beer and shit. And it's like that. It's so much more than that. And there's such a vivid image that can be captured of, like, you know, all of the negative space around just the beer, skiing, and Trader fucking Joe's. So if we can take some time to say something about what that is through music, then great, right? Because, you know, that variety and that culture is what's going to make all these people who fucking moved here stay here.
Is there a sense of, like, are you guys intentionally making sure your work is distinct from anything that you're aware of in the industry right now? Like, are you, like, coming up with an idea and being like, oh, that's derivative, or I've heard something like that, we need to, like, toss that one?
That's as he's saying, that's not been necessary. There's nothing that comes out of us that's like, that just sounds like it's
if
pandering
anything,
to.
it goes the opposite way. We're
Yeah.
like, maybe we should make this
How do we make
a little more mass appeal.
Yeah.
Like maybe we should stop being so dorky about, like, how we do things, or just, like, so, like, I don't know. Get pigeonholed sometimes.
That's how we kind of know we're right. Is, you know, if we follow our instinct and it comes out and there is, you know, and you can already tell that there's no real comparison, then that's awesome, because that's us leaving our little footprint. You know, sounding our barbaric yop from the mountaintop. So to say. You know what I mean? Yeah, I threw some wall women in the bitch. Okay, I paid for school.
It was just the yacht mountaintop. It was just the rhyme scheme.
The rhyme.
Yeah, like Bruce said, there'll be like a certain point when we're developing a song where we'll like kind of try something out and be like, oh, that kind of reminds us of like what LP like does production wise, or that kind of has like sort of like a New Yorkie sound or whatever. Like, oh, that's an idea that we should work with. That's something that people have done that came from us like originally. So that will people associate that and make us more listenable, I guess.
And when you guys kind of collaborate, I see some of the influences you guys have, but you are three distinct personalities. So how do you guys come together and say, well, this is going to be 20 years from now, the Denver sound, when you guys are all so distinctive?
I think it's like just letting that thing sort of grow into the plant that it is. You know, it's like we can't decide right now what the Denver sound's going to be. You know, all we can do is make it, and then in the process of making it, it'll define itself. You know, it's like if I have a baby, I can't tell the kid what it's going to do when it grows up. I can just create an environment where it can. Yeah, well, you can. But like, you know what I mean?
Don't let me make this joke.
Don't do not make I know the joke. I thought the joke. Don't make the joke.
Come back when you're doctor. I'll do it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You just create an environment where it can you know, make its own informed and good choices. That's really all you can do.
Yeah, because part of what we do too with collaborating with other artists is that, like, you know, aside even just from hip hop specifically, like we have a lot of artist friends in a lot of different genres, a lot of different kinds of music that are like on the same kind of you know, level as us as far as exposure and how much work they put in and how they're dedicated to their own kind of sound and the Denver community of like music as a whole. And, you know, working with a bunch of artists and collaborating and putting on our own shows, like what Cisco is saying, is just, you know, we're making a sound as Denver music in general, and a lot of it flies under the radar because of, you know, the more popular and like mass appeal sounds that are coming out of Denver, like that it's more well known for. But there's a whole, you know, not an underbelly, but there's a whole underground scene that's happening that is defining its own sound like constantly. And it just, you know, it's just not getting the same recognition a lot of times, but it's building itself like all the time, and we're a part of that and get to see like a lot of that, which is super dope. But there's no way to be like, this is how we need to sound going forward. Everyone together, let's do it. Like,
just as long as we can prevent, you know, like bands that blew up and then never came back or gave back. You know, like I can think of a few acts that, like, you know, our Billboard charting, you know, national tour headlining, like the Lumineers comes to mind. It's like they came from here, they all collected here, they you know, they created whatever, you know, sound they did, and then they ho-hayed their way out of Denver, you know. And it's like, what have you done for me lately? You know, like they could have come back and used that bread to establish a scene, and instead it's like they come and play Red Rocks every once in a while and we don't ever hear from them. You know what I mean? And it's like other cities aren't like that, you know, where there's a music scene that you know, co-creates, and then if somebody goes somewhere, they always come back and they create space for, you know. Or I think of like when I was a kid, like I was always wondering when the Fray were gonna like hop on 93.3 and invite local bands to come play in the 93.3 garage, and that just never happened. Right? And so it's like personally, like as somebody who grew up in Denver, it's like we're hungry for that, you know, and artists want that. So why not be the people who create that, regardless of whether we get to ho-hey our way up there, you know what I mean? We don't need no damn banjo to do it.
The White Moms, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Where
Thank
can
you,
we
Hunter.
find you?
We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook.
We're also on Apple Music and
We're on
Amazon,
Apple
but
Music.
nobody uses those.
Yeah.
Well, he uses Apple Music.
Yeah, I use Apple Music, but everyone seems to disagree with me on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
You
White
can,
Moms.
if you want to.
The official White Moms on Instagram. The White Moms, any streaming platform, YouTube, wherever you want it, we're there.
And they're also plowing your mom right now. Stay creative,
Better
Colorado.
That was sick.
That rhythm is awful.
Associated, I'll never feel a thing. No chill, I never breathe. Tell me I'm depleted and I don't know what it means. My serotonin, or dopamine. I told my partner and he gave me ketamine. I told my other partner and he says it's like a sleep. The way that I've been